The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. We are now next to the last week of May. The show's going great. I've had some wonderful guests this month, and I have a great one tonight out in the town of Oxford, Mass, right outside of Worcester. She's a model, she's a film actress, and she's an event planner. But before we get to her, I got to read these incredible underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So, we have Personal Best Karate in Southeastern. We have Big Al's Auto Repair in Taunton. We have Barber Lounge in Stoughton, they're in Newark. We have KC Dance Expressions in Raynham. We have One Good Credit in Brockton. We have 21 Plus Smoke Shop in Raynham, they're in Newark. We have Diesel Plus Unlimited in Whitman. We have Boombox in Middleborough. We have Lola's Asian Mart LLC in Raynham. We have the Hideaway Pizza in Uxbridge, on Uxbridge Road in Mendon, I should say, they're in Newark. We have Lynch's Towing Auto, Cycle, and Truck Center in Brockton. One number for towing, one number for projects. My pal Lynchy over there in Brockton is always looking for new wheels, scrap metal, anything to do with transportation. He handles it all. We have A1's Tire and Auto Center in Brockton. I was in search of new service writers and techs, and even if you don't know how to do it, send someone by that does. We have the Cornerstone Barbershop in Pembroke. We have Kingston Auto Body in Kingston. We have Tom Auto in Middleborough. We have the Hanover House of Pizza in Hanover. They make great Sicilian pizza, Greek salads, have awesome people working there, and they deliver. We have Eastern Fitness in the Village Shops in Northeastern. We have the Gun Runner LLC, the Second Amendment Freedom Store in Middleborough, specializing in customer service, pricing, and selection. We have Grant's Rental in Bridgewater. We have RW Carpet and Flooring in Norton, covering floors for 50 years. We have Countertops Express in North Attleboro, experts in the installation and removal of quartz and granite. We have Doggy Boutique, all-breed professional grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next-door neighbor, Debbie Snell in Brockton. We have Joe's Diner in Taunton, and we have Haven Psych PLLC, Psychiatric Services, right here in the building at 50 Oliver Street in Northeastern. I want to thank you guys very much. And now we introduce this lovely lady, Kat Yang. Katerin is the long name, Kat is the short name, and she's in Oxford, Mass. And like I said, she's a model and actress. We're going to look at a little trailer about halfway through the show of her film, Fairfield Follies, I think it's called.
Yes.
All right, nailed it. Good. And we're going to talk to her. So, Kat, thank you for being my guest tonight on Topic Time and reaching out to me, because I know we've been talking about getting you on for a while, and here we finally making it happen. We are finally making it happen. We had a little technical difficulty before. Hopefully we got them ironed out. So tell me a little about yourself. How long you been doing modeling for, first of all?
Off and on for a few years. I started when I was about 16, and then I took a break when I went to college, and then I slowly started getting back into it in probably my early 30s.
Okay, where did you go to college, and what did you major in?
I went to Regis College, and I majored in communications.
Okay, isn't that in Framingham? Or
Weston.
Weston. Okay, I know it's in the neighborhood. Okay, communications, great. But now we talked a little before, and you told me that you started doing beauty pageants in high school, but you didn't want anyone to know about it because it was too nonconformist. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
And in those days, you wanted people to think you were normal and not too outlandish, and that makes sense, I suppose. But then ultimately, you realized you had some talents that were above and beyond that of the norm, and you said, why not flaunt them? And now you're doing it today, correct?
That is correct. I'm a late bloomer.
I understand. I'm a late bloomer too. I never thought I'd be doing what I'm doing now either. All right. Well, tell me about some of the events you've been working with. I mean, you plan events, and you have an agent. Tell me about your agent first, and then tell me about the events that you're involved in.
Sure. I started modeling when I was about 16. I got signed with New York Model Management, and I started doing beauty pageants.
Okay.
And then from there, I took a break, went to college, got my degree, got a real job,
Okay.
a 9-to-5 job. And then I started thinking that I wanted to do something different with my life, something out of the norm.
Okay.
And so I started volunteering at Boston Fashion Week fashion shows. And I was anything from a model to the front door to the ticket person to the person fitting the models as well. So I kind of had the whole experience
Okay.
of a fashion show from the front of the scene into the back of the scene. And that's when I decided that I wanted to start my own organization doing that type of work, doing fashion shows, producing, finding models, um, finding photographers, looking for venues. So I started doing that, and I started doing the Boston Fashion Week show probably in 2014
Okay.
with my own organization. I started doing that for myself. I've worked at lots of nice venues. I worked at the Harborside Inn, which is the North End.
Yep.
Uh,
Boston, you mean, right?
yes, in
Yep.
Boston, yes.
Okay.
And I also worked at a small little establishment. It was in Somerville called East End Grill. I've also used spaces on Newbury Street in Boston for fashion shows, as well as pop-up shops. And the one that I had booked right before COVID, I booked it at Koi. It's a Korean fusion restaurant. So that's actually the one, my very last venue that I booked. But then unfortunately, with COVID happening, I had to cancel the entire show, which was very, upsetting for me, the models and the venue, as well as my designer that I had at the time. And not only did I do my own fashion shows for Boston Fashion Week, I also was a regular at the Liberty Hotel. They have an event called Fashionably Late every Thursday night at their hotel. It starts at 9 p.m. and it runs till about 12 midnight.
Okay. Wow.
And I was a regular there, to where I always gave them models as well as new designers, just different fresh people that they don't really know about. Because I work with designers from Boston, Worcester, New York, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. So being able to work with these type of designers and bringing them to Liberty's fashion event was great, and it was a tremendous opportunity for me to be able to be a regular person at this hotel, because they have massive amount of guests that come to this event, and being part of this event was such an opportunity, and it was such an honor that they allowed me to be a regular fashion producer at this event. And I did that for a long time, and again, with COVID, I stopped doing that as well. But I did enjoy it very much. I still do. I'm thinking of taking my retirement out and trying to maybe get back into the fashion production end, but I'm still not too sure yet. I'm still trying to feel it out with the whole after COVID effect here.
Okay. Now, from what you told me just now, it sounds like you have your own company, right?
Yes,
Well,
it's
tell
my
me
own
about
organization.
and you're an agent now, aren't you? Does that make you an
Yes,
agent? You are.
yes.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Well, if I ever have a chance at looking good, maybe I'll. Do you? I mean, do you represent male models too?
Yes,
That's an off
but
the
for
cuff
me,
question, but I'm just curious.
I do represent male models too, but I will tell you, they're harder for me than female
Well,
models.
of course they are. I mean, you don't. I mean, yeah, I mean, because there aren't as many. But that's wonderful. Boy, I didn't realize you really have quite a quite a docket there. That's wonderful. Now, tell me about how you got into acting, because you do acting too. And like I said, we're going to watch a trailer about halfway through the show. But talk about when you start doing acting, around the same time as you started doing modeling.
Yes, about the same time. I wanted to try it.
Okay.
I saw this posting. I can't quite remember where I saw the posting that that they were looking for this specific role. The role of the character that I play, her name is Suki, and the film is called Fairfield Follies,
Okay.
and looking for an Asian female at the time, and I figured why not
Right.
and audition for it. What do I have to lose? The worst that can happen is they tell me no. So I went and I auditioned. Honestly, I wasn't even sure that I was gonna get it, because there were a lot of people auditioning for this role.
Right.
I would say a few months later, I get a call and email from the director saying, "Congratulations, I was picked to
Sweet.
be Yuki." I was so floored that I fell off my bed. So I was not expecting me to be picked. for this role, and it was such an honor to be picked. And working with an incredible director like Lord Pepper,
Okay.
and working with great talent, all the talent that was in the film, it was an amazing honor to be
Yeah.
working with. Everybody was great. We're like a happy family, and it was probably one of the best experiences of my life.
I'm sure it was. Okay. And how long ago did you do this film?
Oh my God, it was like a few years ago. I'm thinking maybe 2015, 2016, I think.
That's almost 10 years ago. Time for another film, don't you think?
I know, right?
Yeah. Well, now you have, does your now you are an agent, and you have an agency that represents you too. Is that what you're saying?
I do, yes.
Okay. Now, and the agency that represents you, have they gotten you, what kind of projects have they gotten you outside of modeling? I mean, for acting, anything, have they gotten you anything for acting?
Nothing for acting, but I would say more like little small things like hair shows, little small print ads and things like that. And I've gone to a couple auditions for acting, um but I didn't really get those roles and stuff like that. I did get a couple roles from Boston Casting. I was an extra in Patriots Day, and I was also an extra in Stronger. That was a
Okay.
few years ago. So I did that through Boston Castings. I got that through them. Um, but with my current agency now, I just been getting small little things, and some of the things I turned down just because it is quite the commute to go to these auditions and go see, especially when I work a Monday through Friday job myself.
Okay. Now, this person that produced Fairfield Follies, I mean, did they produce a lot of, does this person produce a lot of films too? Because I'm thinking if you killed it in one film, maybe they'd have you in another one.
Um, I haven't seen her do anything lately, honestly, because she's also an actress herself too. She's just not a director, and she actually wrote it too. So
Right.
she's like a jack of all trades. She's an amazing woman. I haven't seen her posting anything or sharing anything that she is working on any new films that I know of. But I know that if she does, I'll definitely reach out, and I know that she would reach out to me too.
That's great. Okay. So what are you currently working on?
Currently, right now, nothing at the moment. I've been focusing on pretty much my full-time job at the moment. I haven't um, done too much into the modeling acting in the past few months. I did have an opportunity to do something recently, but unfortunately, because it wasn't the rate wasn't negotiable, I had to turn down the opportunity.
Okay. So have you ever, I mean, we talked about this earlier, right? You seem like a very comedic person. You ever think of maybe trying stand-up comedy, maybe doing something in one of one of those clubs out your way in Worcester?
Comedy. It's funny. I've never really thought of me as a funny person, to be honest. I've never even thought of even trying to be a stand-up comic
Well,
ever.
I think you could be if you write about your life experiences, you write about, and possibly even think, have you ever done anything in music like that? How about music? Any sing, dance, play any instruments?
Um, I have danced when I was a lot younger, but nothing, anything recent. I mean, most of my work has been like a lot of print ads and web ads.
Okay.
I would say my most recent stuff I did was last year. I was in a fitness competition last year.
Okay.
As I don't know if you remember, but I think I didn't win, but I did make it into the top 5. So I was very, for me to even make it to top 5 of all those incredible women was an honor.
I'm sure it is.
Top 5. And then I ended up getting a nice little editorial ad in an online magazine called Mirror Magazine, and
Okay.
so that was one of the 2 things that I ended up doing, just last year.
Oh, okay. Well, where was the fitness competition held?
It was just an online thing. It was an
Oh,
online
okay.
competition,
Oh, well,
and yeah, I honestly I was kind of hesitant at first, but a friend of mine, she told me, she said, "Hey, why not?" She goes, "You like to work out, you're bubbly, you have a cute sense of fashion, why not? You don't need to be a bodybuilder to do that."
that's right. You don't.
I decided I submit my photo, and then when they got my photo, they said, "Congratulations, you've been accepted to the competition, and good luck."
Oh,
And then
that's-
and then I made it to top 5, but didn't win, but I made it to the top 5, which
That
I'm
was
still happy about that.
that was last year, right?
Yes, it was around this time last year,
Around this,
actually.
last spring, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have like a big family? Do you have a husband and kids or anything, or are you just, are you independent?
I don't have a husband and I don't have any kids. I come from a decent sized family. I have both my mother and father still living,
That's great.
and I have four siblings, one older and three younger.
Okay, all right. So, and you never thought of like trying to write something though. That might be kind of something to think about because I mean, you know it's funny, you know what makes you laugh, and that's what you should focus on.
I've never really thought about it, but now that you mentioned it, I may try it. I
Okay.
may try it.
All right. Well, guess what? We're about halfway through the show, and now we're going to watch the trailer of Fairfield Follies. We're going to be right back to discuss it. So stay tuned, and we'll come in right back.
I found the light switch. Close your eyes. Leon?
Oh, what was he doing in there?
I don't know, honey. I don't know.
From now on, sex only in bed, behind locked doors.
Yeah, sure, if I can get that image out of my head. Till then, I'm sleeping with a nightlight.
Oh, Kat, that was great. What did we just watch? Tell me about that little role you had.
So Suki is supposed to be like a sexy vixen, but also funny,
Yep.
where she meets her significant, I guess, partner, boyfriend, whatever you want to call it in the film, and into where they're always trying to get some personal time, in the middle of the audition, in the middle of the show. So you get to see the hurdles that they try to get the private time with each other through through the film in the trailer.
Okay. No,
Pretty funny.
I got that. Yeah, that was wonderful. Okay. So like I said, if you take something off, if you take a spoof for that and you create something for yourself, I bet you could probably come up with a script of your own. Tell me about the people that have you ever been in like a music video or anything like that? I know you said you don't do music, but have you been in a music video or other things besides films?
I haven't been in music videos. I mean, I've done I worked at car show events. I've done a lot of that, and that entails a lot of just being funny and dancing around the cars. But
Well,
other
that's
than that,
funny.
not really.
Why don't you write a script about? Why don't you do like a silly music video where you're doing a silly dance around a car? Now that would be hilarious. You should do a spoof of yourself.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
a good thought.
Thank you. I always try to give advice to my guests that will behoove them sometime down the line because I tell you, I see a lot of potential in you for making people laugh and inspiring a lot of people, a lot of a mass audience worldwide. So those shows you've done, those modeling shows, have they just been in New England or have you gone to other parts of the country or other parts of the world?
Mainly they've been in New England. Mainly they've been in New England. Yes.
Okay, but I mean, have you gone outside New England for anything, any work at all?
No, I'm too, I guess, afraid of rejection to try to go outside for New England, to be perfectly honest.
Well, why can't you get something outside of it? Well, I mean, it's not. I mean, you don't want to if you don't want to travel too far, you don't have to. All you got to do is send it like you said. You got a visual resume of your work, like we're going to have here on the show, and send it around to people all over the country. You don't even need to go anywhere. I mean, network. You want to network as much as you can. You want to get yourself out there. And there's plenty in this day and age. There's plenty of opportunity to do that. You just got to manifest yourself a little bit to get it going. You got to light a fire under yourself. That's what I'm saying.
I agree. Yeah, I've actually been, thinking about that, with after COVID, I kind of wanted to just, get myself back out there and, go to more auditions, go to more go-sees, trying to land a few more roles. And I have been trying to look, elsewhere, like Vegas, Los Angeles, New York, Atlanta, Georgia, Texas. I have sent some of my resumes and photos to a lot of certain places that are looking for people.
Okay, but now you have your own agency now. You represent a lot of people, right?
Yes.
All right. How does that work? How many people do you represent about? How many people do you have in your group?
Not many, maybe just like about right now, since well, after COVID, I think I only have about 5 or 6 people left. Before then, I had about like a good like 50. So the few people I have, I kind of just keep my eyes and ears for what's open, and I usually get emails from certain people that remember me from doing work for some sort of anything, where somebody will tell me, oh, hey, I remember you from this event. I'm looking for this type of person. Do you have anybody that fits this person, this what I'm looking for? And then, sometimes I have the person, sometimes I don't, where they'll say, well, what about you? I think you fit what I'm looking for. So then sometimes, I will go in for the audition and things of that nature. But I always have to have an idea of what they're looking for before I just send anybody over, because it might not be who they want.
Right. Okay. Well. But that's on the receiving end. How do you display your opportunities for other people? I mean, how do you network that? You must have something. Do you send like visual memos to people all over the country?
I just reach out to people that I see that they have if I see that they have a casting, I'll say, hey, I have this person that would be great for you. And before I even reach out to them, I'll even let the person that I know, I'll tell them like, hey, I saw this casting on such and such site. Would you be interested in something like this? If you are, I'll submit you. So that's usually how I start it and things of that nature. And a lot of like the people that I deal with and work with, they work with other agencies too, because there is no rule and no contract saying you can't work with another
I know
agency.
that. I've interviewed lots of models. They've worked with more than one agency.
Yeah.
But
a lot of them do that. They use me for some things, and then they have other agencies for other things. Me, I deal with more fashion shows. So if they want to be in fashion shows, I am more of the go-to person to go for that.
Okay.
There are other agencies that deal with mainly more like print and commercial. So then they would have to do that. Or if they're very good at networking for themselves, a lot of these models I have seen, they go to these events. They'll go to all these fashion events, or they'll go to all these print events, or just any type of networking events. And I've seen the models, they'll work the room to try to get work for themselves. By getting work for yourself, you really don't have to pay an agency fee, which is, I would say, since I'm also, a talent, it would be more ideal to not pay, an agency fee if you can find work yourself.
Right. Well, but aren't there not currently fashion shows that you're involved with though today?
Not right now. I haven't really been focusing on it. Well, Boston Fashion Week's not till September.
Right.
So I'm actually trying to coordinate with certain venues and certain boutiques right now to try to see if that's something I would like to do in September, because Boston Fashion Week is usually either middle of September or beginning of October.
I just had a radical idea for you. Have you ever thought of doing like wedding planning? Because the reason I'm saying that is because if you do like wedding planning, you're going to see a lot of beautiful girls that are bridesmaids, and you might want to reach out to them and see if they want to model too. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad. I know. I mean, every time I pass a wedding somewhere when you're here in Easton, there's always a wedding going on. It's a big, it's a small town with a lot of old-fashioned people that love old-fashioned weddings, and bridesmaids are the most beautiful women that you can see on the side of the road on any given day, and they're the people you might want to reach out to see if they want to model. I mean,
not a bad idea. I haven't thought about weddings too much.
Not just weddings, anything, just any parties of any kind, bar mitzvahs, or just birthday parties, whatever. You should create something like that. Make out nice stationery, create and send it around to people. Show them what you can do for them.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to help you network a little more. That's what you need to do.
Oh yeah, that is one of the things that I'm actually that I pause at the moment about the networking. It's like I know which industry that I normally network in, but I think if I think outside of the pool a little bit more, like you said, I can probably even get more clients, or even get more work for my clients, or even more work for myself by going outside of my comfort zone.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. As far as print modeling, what kind of print modeling have you done for yourself so far? You've been on magazines and TV, or have you ever been on TV before?
Not on TV. I've done like little small magazines, like local magazines.
Okay.
I did Next on Scene. I was on Candy Girls. I think I did a little thing for Asian media one time.
Okay.
I think when I was younger, I did a Noxzema, a little small Noxzema print and a Kodak print.
Wow, okay, well, that's great. Well, guess what, Kat? We're down to the final 5 minutes of the show. I hope you had fun talking to me and heeding my advice, and I'm sorry about the little technical issue we had earlier, but that stuff
not a
happens.
problem.
We still made I think we probably had a better go around the second time. And
I agree.
and I hope you
I
had a
agree.
good, like I said, I hope you had fun talking to me, and that we get about as much profiling done as we can, as thoroughly as you hoped it would be.
Oh yeah, I had a great time. Thank you
Thank-
so much for having me.
Thank you too. All right, so if you had a good time with me, that having been said, if you know anybody, models, I love having models on the show, like beautiful women like you. You got my digits, have them contact me, we'll get them on. I get a lot of guests through word of mouth now. Now, is there anything coming up in the near future that you might want to mention that you might have overlooked? If not, that's fine, but I always try to make sure we cover everything when I do an interview.
Let me see. As of right now, I am trying to, like I said, probably try to do another fashion show probably this year, this fall.
Okay.
So stay tuned. Once I start finding my venues and getting the models and getting everything fine-tuned, you'll be the first to know. And I will also be posting it on Facebook and Instagram if everybody wants to check it out.
Okay, that's fine. And by the way, just another thought. You might, the summertime's coming. Maybe you should go to the beach and look up and talk to girls in bikinis. See if you think they're model worthy. I mean, you obviously know the game
That's
pretty
not
well.
a bad idea.
Yeah,
It's probably better for me to go talk to a girl in a bikini than a man. So
exactly. They're not going to think you're a creep if you're a woman. You just give them a business card and say, hey, this is, if you want to, I think you're model worthy. Give me a call. If you want to do it, we'll do it, and that's it. Do you lace out to a photographer at all by any chance?
yes, I have regular photographers that I actually work with. My most recent photographer that I actually worked with,
Yep.
that actually that did most of the photos, and you'll see the photos that I sent you earlier.
Yep.
Those are all taken by him. His name is Sean Riley.
Perfect.
He's amazing. He
Okay.
lives out in Taunton. He's an amazing photographer. He has his own in studio, as well as he actually travels to locations for people. So
Okay.
he is an amazing photographer. I recommend any model, actor, actress who like to get headshots or just, some new photos to reach out to him.
Okay. And by the way, that having been said, see if you can get him on my show too.
Oh, I will. I will definitely tell him to come on your show. I will give all your details to Sean.
Awesome. I appreciate it. All right, Kat, you ready to wrap the show up the way we began it with snapping?
Oh yeah, sure. Why not?
And I have one last favor to ask. When we wrap the show up, will you stick around so my tech guy can take a pic for us and I can post it on Facebook?
Yeah.
All right. All right, folks, we're wrapping up in a great Topic Time episode, rolling out and snapping off. Here we go.
Yeah.
There you go. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young.